Okay, we are live. And right before I was going live, my kitty was doing his grooming. And he's still there. His name is Spartacus. Okay, can you see him? Huh? I was just looking to see if I could see him. So I tried to maneuver him around because he was doing. There he is. He's like, really? You had to disturb me. All right. Well, listen. Hello, and how are you doing? I got to tell you, my name is Marquita Waters, and I love to sing. I love to help people that are having problems with their voices, such as pro singers and straining. We are going to talk about preparing to sing for a show. And why I'm talking about that is because I have a story to tell you, and it's about one of my clients. And well, before I do that, I gotta say it is such a day, yeah, such a mighty fine day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Had to do it. Okay, well, preparing for a show, if you want to succeed, there's things you need to do, there's things you need not do, okay? Things you got to take away. A lot of times in getting ready, we don't realize that we need a lot more energy, a lot more focus. And there was one last thing. Yeah, warmed muscles. Okay, so if you are going to be doing a show, before it is what's going to set up everything for that show. Now you already have lights, you have sound, musicians. You know, you've got to do so many things to get ready for a show that are just they're things that have to be done. But you have your pro and you have your personal life, your voice and your life. As you go to prepare for singing, sometimes the personal and everything else takes precedent over you actually doing the things that are necessary in order to have energy, to have focus, and have warmed muscles. Now, the reason why I can talk to people about this is because I used to stream like all the time. Okay. And I lost my voice. I even had nodes, which are benign tumors on the free edges of the vocal folds. So this is before. And then I made the necessary changes. And now I work even harder now to keep everything together and to do a really great job when it comes to the show. And that means prepping before the show. Now, what's my story? Okay. I had someone come in and they said they did a show, you know, impromptu show. It was not the last minute, but they knew about it, but it was set up, you know, fairly close to the time of doing the show. And I said, well, how'd it go? And they said, well, uh, you know, there were some high notes. I wasn't quite sure of what to do with them. And I said, well, tell me about before the show. Tell me what was going on. And he said, well, you know, I've got somebody visiting. I said, okay. And the night before, well, you know, people are visiting. You want to go out and have a good time, and they want to see the town. And maybe you want to have a drink with them, those of you who drink. And so he said, well, we were out late. And then I had a friend who I already promised to do this screening because he knew what I was going to say and because he's looking at me and we already talked about things. And he said there was a screening and I had to go to this screening. And then I did my show. So then I was going through the timeline for all of this. And what happened is, the screening was right before the show. He had to go rush to the show. And before that, the night before, he was up really late. So right away, the personal life and the pro, I mean, you know, that got in the way too, making a yes instead of a no. So now, what should he have done? What should he not do? You already promised a friend to do something and you need to do it. Maybe you can say, look, I might have to bail, a little bit earlier because I got a show and I have to prep for my show. Instead of last minute and then rushing in and you're frazzled. You've got lots to set up and then get on that stage and start singing. Now, if you've been singing for a long time, you might say, hey, I'm fine. Okay, I strain every once in a while, but I know what to do and I'm going to be fine just coming in at the last minute because I've been doing it for a long time. Problem is, that's what I did. I didn't always rush in, but I took it for granted that my voice would give me all of what it always gave me. But I would get hoarse and then I would be fine though. And a lot of you are experiencing that. You're straining your voice, but hey, you get better. You don't have a problem. And then you strain again and you get better and strain again. It will catch up with you. It's a matter of time before it really gets severe. And you don't want to end up with nodes. You don't want to end up completely losing your voice because it's important that you honor your voice, that you don't just take it for granted. And that's what so many of us do as pro singers. We strain, we take it for granted. We don't do the prep work. We don't think about the day before, the night before, or all the practicing leading up. So what could my client have done the night before? He could have set an alarm for himself and said, okay, I can't stay out late. And before they went out and say, look, I got a show coming up. Love to stay with you, but you can stay here, make preparations so they can have a good time, but you've got to leave. Or they just have to leave with you. If it's the family, guess what, guys? We can't do that the night before. What do you mean? We really want to go out. And okay, no, you can't. I can't be driving you to this party. And the reason is I've got the show. I've got to get in. If you want to go out, you got to come. We got to end things. And I got to be in bed at a certain time because I'm a pro and I take care of my voice. And I'm going to be focused before I sing. And I'm going to do all the right things to honor the gift that I've been given, to honor all the practicing that I've done before. Okay? And that's the whole thing. You need to honor the gift that you have. And even if you've been doing it for a long time, you can get rusty and you can get lazy. I did. I took it for granted. So don't do what I did. Do what I do now, which now what I do, I make sure that I practice. I watch everything. I say, no, I can't do this or I can't do that. I do the best that I can with doing a show. And even at that, things can go wrong. You can be tired from the fact that you just have so many things you have to do. But at least you'll be better. You'll be better equipped than you would have been if you just didn't watch those things. My client was really tired. He didn't say no. And that no needed to happen so we could have a great show, a great yes on his show. Seeing the friend now, he promised to do that. And I think honoring that is important. And sometimes you're honoring that and yeah, it's a little hard to do. But honoring that, you already made your commitment. Maybe, like I said, having to leave a little early, okay. Maybe that. And sometimes you can't. And then you come into the show. What do you do before? On the way there, driving, you vocalize. You have to warm up your muscles. And then you have to calm. You have to get to a point where you just calm yourself. And it's like an adjustment. It's like a flip. You're adjusting to the show. You're now the performer. You have to do breathing. You have to focus now, gather your energy. And if you didn't eat and you haven't eaten for a long time, you might want to munch on something to get your blood sugar level up. Normally, you don't want to eat before you have a show, but sometimes you're out. You're really depleted because you've been rushing around. Things go wrong anyway. What if the lighting goes wrong? What if something happens with a sound and people come up to you? You have to steel yourself way before that show so you can steady everything, focus. And sometimes it's extremely difficult. Sometimes it just, you get behind the 8 ball. But the majority of the time, if you gather yourself before, and if you were in the car, you warmed up a little bit, and then right before you hum, go up high and go down low, do warm. In my book, it's over there. You do non-singing exercises. Rotate the tongue. So get circulation going. Because if you're tense, your circulation is starting to stop. You need blood flowing to the vocal folds. Okay, now you're starting saliva going. Okay, and now you're going to breathe and you're going to calm down before you enter the stage. If you need to have energy, you need to calm first. It's opposite of what you would thought, right? But it's true. You need to calm instead of pumping. Now, some people might say, look, I pump and that's what I work. If that works for you, go for it. Great. But if you've been frazzled, you better center yourself. So now you're focused on what you have to do. And funny enough, even if you've been singing songs for a long time, go over the beginning line of the first song. It's so funny. So many of the pro singers say, I know my songs. I'm fine. I would never do that. I never forget the words. Guess what? They forget the words. And it's the weirdest feeling. It's like, I've been singing this song forever. Okay, so again, you've got to focus. You've got to collect your energy, which means calming, calm, assertive. Okay, it's like with the animals. How is my cat doing? Oh, Spartacus is happy. Spartacus actually came to my home, and he was outside, and I said, "Look, go home," because he lived in another house. He would not leave. He came in my house, went upstairs, sprayed, went back downstairs and said, this is my house. I'm going to be here. Guess what? Years later, that's him, Mr. Spartacus. Yeah. Sweetest guy. He'll look you straight in the eye and go, you can pet me. I mean, really. Okay. Well, listen, I think, also the night before, when you tell the person, I can't do that, or we can't go out and we can't schedule, or I can't take you here or there to a family member the night before. Your sleep is important. That's when your voice totally rests. So if you think you can go and just stay up and not have sleep, you're behind the 8 ball. Sleep is so important. Get more sleep the night before the shows. And how do you do that? Before you schedule. You know what you have coming up. You schedule things and you keep with your schedule. You don't add in more things to do when you've got shows. And if you're doing lots of shows back to back, you've got to get this type ritual going for yourself so that you are okay. And if you're doing shows and you're not doing as many, they're scattered, then your practice time has to be even more to keep yourself to this level when you're on stage. Because when you practice at home, you're relaxed. You need to practice show practice. That means like you're performing, stand up. Okay. All right. I don't know whether there are any questions. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Mary. Hi, how are you doing, honey? Love to see you, sweetheart. You're so faithful. Thank you. I'm going to give you my little hello, hello, hello. There you go. Hello, hello, hello. How great. Okay. Now, I've got to tell you that, being a singer, being an artist, writing your songs, painting, whatever it is in artistry, it is a gift and it is a special thing. So treat it with that care. When I was younger, I didn't do that. I took it for granted. I thought, I'll be fine always. Well, guess what? I wasn't fine always. And it caught up to me. And I changed things. So that's what you've got to do. And you say you love your singing. Love is an action word. If you say you love your singing, then you'll take care of it. Just like a person that you love. You just don't say, I love you, and then, turn over. You don't just say, I love you, and then don't follow through, because you will lose that love. It's an action word. So loving your art, your talent, means that what you're going to do is you're going to care for it. You're going to show up. You're going to do the practice. You're going to do the hard things. That's what love is. When you're loving something, there's things that you don't really want to do, but you do them because you love. It's the same thing here. You love your singing. You love your artistry. Then you go after it. Now, the other side of the coin is that you work so hard on your personal life that you're pro, you go, and then you work so hard on your pro life that you avoid or neglect your personal life. Everything you've got to balance, and you must do the work for. That means you've got to schedule things in and be a good steward over all of this. That means you've got to be together in your life. You have to have balance. You've got to have that focus and the energy toward things. And the warming up of the muscles, the warming up of all the muscles, the private muscles, the pro muscles. Okay? Taking care of life isn't easy. It's a journey here. But you can do it. I've changed. I had to do the changes. You can do it. You can get to the point where you can sing those notes, and you cannot worry before you go on stage because you've centered yourself and you're enough practiced and you've scheduled everything that you need to do that when you go on, you can go on with confidence. Okay? So I'm here to help you. I'm going to put my marquitawaters.com. There you go. Okay. So now, if you need some warm-ups, I don't know whether we still have a direct thing to go to them, but you can go to marquitawaters.com and click a contact. It might be in the offers. I don't know. I think it's on the offers. They're warm-ups, and they're free. So you can do those. Now, they're general, but you can at least start there if you don't have any warm-ups. And I'll give you instruction there. Okay. Remember, it's general. It's not specifically for you. I'm going to have a course that's going to be specifically for singers, pro singers, to help them stop straining. Okay. And I'll probably have a freebie. I call them my little freebies. I'll probably have a freebie to start with, to give you some tips about not straining. Because we're singers, we're pros. We need to keep going. You might have just started on your journey of doing shows and you're having problems with a voice. You don't want to end up down the line losing your voice. You don't want to end up feeling it's painful. It hurts. It does not feel good. And you don't want that. Are you going to make mistakes? We all do. Singers do. They make mistakes. We do. Okay. But don't worry about that. That's the exception, not the rule. You just don't want it to be a rule that you're constantly, I hope I can get that note, or oh, shoot, man, I strained again. And, you cannot be on your A game if that's so. Okay. So here to help you, love what you do, and do what you love. Okay. Say a lot of no's so you can say yes to the 1 and 2 and 3, the most important things in your life. All right. And we just had Mr. Rocky Balboa. You got to show yourself, Rocky. There he is. Rocky Balboa decided to join us. And Rocky does not like the other kitties. Okay, so I think I'm going to move my mic over to this side so you can see Mr. Rocky. Rocky Balboa. There he is. There's Rocky. Hello, Rocky. He loves it. Yes, there you go. Okay, he decided to jump on my lap. Okay, so I love you. Leave a comment or actually ask me a question if you want. If you have any questions about the voice, go to marquitawaters.com, contact me. I will answer you, okay? Meanwhile, it is such a day, yeah, such a mighty fine day, yeah. And remember, do not grow weary. Singing is for a lifetime. I will not grow weary, Lord. Woo! See ya. Bye. Okay. Petting time. Bye.